having the most talented player in the Premier League in your squad, and all you could offer him was a loan to Burnley? And imagine letting him go to your rivals, only for him to become the Premier League's best player that same season. Well, this is exactly what Pep Guardiola did to Cole Palmer, because since joining Chelsea, no Premier League player has registered more goal contributions than him, and he's just a midfielder. He's the coldest, the calmest, and the most exciting talent in the Premier League, and this is the story of how he fought his way through rejection to now dominating English football.
Here's Cole Palmer! Yes! City boy is Chelsea's man!
Cole Palmer was born on the 6th of May 2022 and had quite an average upbringing growing up in a middle-class district of Manchester. A source of inspiration for him as he was actively involved in the local football scene, and as a young boy, Palmer would often watch his dad play Sunday League, where he absorbed the basics of the game and quickly developed a hunger to get onto the pitch and become the best player he could possibly be. Football was also a constant topic in their household, and it quickly became clear that young Cole was destined for this sport. Growing up, Palmer idolized one player above anyone else, and that was the Manchester United legend, Wayne Rooney. And it had become his dream to follow in his footsteps at United. But at just 8 years old, Palmer was faced with one of the toughest decisions of his life. He was handed 2 youth academy offers, one from Man United and one from Man City, with the difference being Man United was a trial and Man City was a concrete offer. So Cole had to make the tough choice of putting himself first and opted to sign for Man City. And interestingly, this wouldn't be the last time Cole would have to make a tough decision like this. But for now, at just 8 years old, the decision to join Manchester City's academy paid off as he was launched into one of the best youth systems in the world where his talent could truly shine. Fast forward to 2018, Cole is 16 years old and the Manchester City Academy were holding a meeting to decide which players to release, and surprisingly enough, Palmer's name was on the list after struggling for 2 seasons in a row. His teammates had outgrown him physically, his performances had dipped, and the academy seemed more interested in finding faster, more powerful dribblers, but just as they were about to cut Palmer loose, Jason Wilcox, the academy director, stepped in and overruled the decision. When asked what he saw in Palmer, Wilcox replied, "He's extremely clever. You can't even see what he's seeing." Cole had the brains, but he knew that his size was an issue, and luckily for him, over the next year his prayers would be answered. He shot up in height, growing from 5'7" to 6'2", and a year later, not only was he captaining City's under-18s to a league title with 20 goal contributions in just 12 games, but he also led them to the FA Youth Cup final, where he assisted their equalizer and scored the winning goal. After that match, he lifted his jersey to reveal a tribute to Jeremy Winston, a former teammate who tragically took his own life after City dropped him during the pandemic. Reflecting on that moment, Palmer said, "Off the pitch, I'm not loud. I don't say much, but once I'm on it, everything comes out." Cole went on to claim an impressive 20 goals and 8 assists in just 32 games for City's under-18 team, earning himself a promotion to the under-23s and got Guardiola's eyes on him. In the following season, Palmer did get the occasional call-up to train with City's first team under Pep Guardiola, but Cole spent most of his time playing for the under-23s, and even though he was dominating at that level, Guardiola found it difficult to implement him into the main squad, having the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and Bernardo Silva all playing in his preferred position. But finally, Palmer's rise to prominence on the big stage began with his first team debut for City in a Carabao Cup game against Burnley in 2020. He continued to get sporadic minutes for the first team, but he was still hungry to get every minute on the football pitch he possibly could, so much so that one evening, after making an appearance in the Premier League with the first team, Cole rushed back to the under-23s, hoping to be included in the starting lineup despite already having played earlier that day, and ended up scoring a hat-trick. But when asked about it, he brushed it off, saying, "If there's a game, I want to be in it. It's not a big deal." Palmer's breakthrough came in the Champions League when he scored his first European goal against Club Brugge, marking a huge step in his career. Being called up to the Champions League and getting the chance to play at this elite level was a monumental moment for him, proving he was ready for the big stage. And with this increasing success, along with his efforts for Manchester City's youth teams, he managed to earn himself a nomination for the 2022 Golden Boy Award, putting him among the top young talents to watch in the Premier League. Pep started to acknowledge what a talent he had up his sleeve, and he reiterated to Cole to keep being patient and that he will soon get the game time he truly deserves. But Cole's hunger for glory would soon overpower his patience, as we'll soon see. By the 22-23 season, Palmer had become a regular off the bench, making 25 appearances and featuring in crucial matches against teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, and Sevilla. His form continued to soar in the summer with standout performances in the Super Cup final against Sevilla and the Community Shield against Arsenal, where he scored in both matches. But despite earning a few more senior appearances, injuries and Manchester City's focus on other competitions continued to limit Cole's opportunities. Even though he averaged a goal contribution every 85 minutes under Guardiola, the promises of "next year it'll be your turn" went unfulfilled. And even as City sold some of their key players, seemingly creating an opportunity for Palmer to step up, he still found himself on the sidelines, watching as his teammates went on to achieve the club's greatest triumph, winning the treble. It was a bittersweet moment for him. He was handed the winner's medal, but he didn't play the part in the team he wanted to. Cole joined England's under-21s for the European Championship, and after a slow start, he eventually found his groove in the semi-finals, where he assisted the opening goal, scored the second, and assisted the third, and days later, he even scored the winning free kick to secure the championship. Palmer was now a European champion by his own terms, but despite his international success, Guardiola offered him a loan move to Burnley upon his return. Palmer's response was simple: "No, and I want to leave." With the transfer window closing, City brought in another winger in Doku, which was the final straw for Palmer, who felt he needed regular game time, especially with the Euros on the horizon. But despite the club's underwhelming treatment, Cole ended his 13-year run with Manchester City with a collection of major trophies. But luckily for him, the talent he had showcased throughout his time at City did not go unnoticed. And when Chelsea came knocking on the door, Cole didn't hesitate to make the move, and this would prove to be the best choice in his career so far. Cole Palmer joined Chelsea for Manchester City on transfer deadline day in September 2023 for a hefty £40 million, and full of anger, he was ready to prove that his former team made the wrong decision to let him go. At first glance, the majority of Chelsea fans were disappointed with this signing, as they considered him a £40 million City reject and would have much rather spent the money on a high-profile player. But despite the criticism, Cole kept calm, and just a day after his signing, he made his debut as a substitute in a home game against Nottingham Forest, and a couple weeks later, made his first start during a Carabao Cup victory over Brighton, where he provided the assist for the winning goal. Palmer's first goal for Chelsea came 2 matches later when he converted a penalty in a 4-1 win over Burnley in October 2023. Ironic, considering he would have been playing for Burnley if he took the loan deal. Anyway, despite the great talent and depth of the Chelsea squad, the team was collectively underperforming. But this did not pressure Cole, who managed to settle quickly within the starting 11, as he had a good relationship with the manager Mauricio Pochettino, who could see the hunger and talent Cole possessed. Cole quickly established himself as a key player for Chelsea, becoming the first-choice penalty taker, so much so that his first 4 goals for the club came from the penalty spot, including a dramatic stoppage-time equalizer against his former team, Manchester City, where he showed his true ice-cold colors with his shrugging celebration against his former team who let him go. And only a day after, he received his first call-up to the England senior squad, where he made his debut against Malta in a 2-0 win, marking yet another major milestone for the rising star. And now, the Euros call-up was starting to look like a real possibility. Palmer's performances continued to impress, with open play goals following soon after. His second open play goal was a skillful finish after skipping past the goalkeeper in a win over Luton, decorated with his trademark ice-cold celebration, and was voted Chelsea's goal of the month for December. He started scoring so regularly now that his ice-cold celebration became his trademark move and landed him the nickname Cold Palmer. He claims that his friend Morgan Rogers once did the celebration for Middlesbrough, so he picked it up, and it has stuck ever since. But things for Cole would be taken to a whole new level in March and April when he scored 11 goals in just 6 games. This one included a hat-trick against Manchester United, where he scored 2 late goals to turn a defeat into victory, and 4 goals against Everton, including a first-half hat-trick. His first goal against Everton won the Premier League Goal of the Month award, and Palmer was named Premier League Player of the Month for April, becoming the first Chelsea player to receive the honor since Eden Hazard in 2018, and the second youngest ever behind Arjen Robben. Come May, Palmer became the first Chelsea player aged 21 or younger to reach 30 Premier League goal involvements in a season. His success was acknowledged during the Chelsea Annual Awards, where he won both the Chelsea Player of the Year award, voted for by fans, and the Players Player of the Year award. Palmer also secured the Premier League's Youngest Player of the Season award and was voted the Premier League's Fans Player. He was truly the saving grace of Chelsea, who managed to end their 23-24 horror season rather strongly thanks to his individual brilliance, making him worthy of all his achievements so far, as by the end of his debut season at Chelsea, Palmer had played 45 games, mostly as a midfielder, impressively scoring 25 goals, 22 of which came in the Premier League, second only to Manchester City's Erling Haaland. He also provided 11 assists, ranking second in the league behind Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, which are some insane stats for just a Man City reject. And soon enough, we see that Palmer's decision to leave Manchester City turned out to be the right move yet again, as the phone rang and Southgate told him he was selected for the England squad to play in the 2024 Euros. But despite being the second top scorer in the Premier League that season, England manager Gareth Southgate didn't see him fit as a regular starter, but every time Palmer got on the pitch, he made an impact. In the group stages, he came off the bench and played a key role, setting up crucial chances that helped England advance, and as the tournament progressed, Palmer continued to impress, delivering solid performances in the little time he had in each of the knockout games. Then came the final against Spain, and even though Palmer wasn't in the starting lineup, he came on in the 70th minute and instantly made his mark by scoring the equalizing goal 3 minutes after entering the pitch. It was a huge moment for him on the international stage, proving yet another manager wrong and showing that he was always ready for these big occasions. But unfortunately, England conceded a second goal and fell short once again, bottling another international final. But despite this first major upset, his standout performances for the previous season continue to earn him recognition, including nominations for the Ballon d'Or and the Young Player of the Year award. Palmer then signed a 2-year contract extension until 2033, at the beginning of the 24-25 season, which he kicked off in spectacular fashion, scoring a brilliant lob at a 6-2 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers, a goal that was voted both Chelsea's and the Premier League's Goal of the Month for August. In September, Palmer made history by becoming the first Premier League player to score 4 goals in the first half of a match, joining an elite group of Chelsea players to have achieved this feat. Among his goals that day was a stunning free kick, which was voted Chelsea's Goal of the Month, and he also won his second Premier League Player of the Month award after only 50 appearances for the club. Palmer's incredible rise shows no signs of slowing down as he becomes one of the Premier League's brightest talents. Now a key player for both club and country, Palmer's future looks bright, and Pep Guardiola surely must be regretting letting the young superstar go. Now, if you like the story of Cole Palmer, you will definitely like this video too. Don't doubt me like City doubted Cole.